By using these buttons, we will make a function that we can use for fabrication. In AR fabrication, you need to see each sequence one by one, and sometimes you need to go back previous stage and sometimes want to see entire shape to check. So I will make simple object first. So I made this kind of simple object which shows each level very clearly. Yeah, of course, I hope you have a better design. But anyway, just to see clearly, I set them all different materials and then changed object names as well. So you can see here, like I changed name to layer 1 to 5. Well, I mean, these are not mandatory, but it's easier to see each object's names. But it is really important that to put this all of them into each layers. So later we will show each object by using these layers. Let's export these models to FBX. In the option, make sure you only enable Map Rhino Z to FBXY, and you need to turn off light views and vertex normals. And let's drag and drop this model and bring it to in hierarchy. Well, it seems it is too large, so let's reduce a bit. I just put them where we can see the models properly when we click the buttons. Well, after you place it in correct location, unpack this and let's create script. I just created C# script name with display level on click and attach this script to display levels. Well, inside of here, let's delete that we're not going to use. We need to make a list to save all layers, and I will call this just all children's. We will activate and deactivate one by one, so we need to check each index of each child. And to see them all, I think we need a boolean. In the start, we need to add all children to the list. So using for loop, we can check all children. And we're going to deactivate all of them as a start scene. And then always current child index start from the 0, right? So we need to set up as a 0 at the beginning. So now this for loop is going to check with all the numbers of child. And we need to get the game object and then add to all children list. By set active false at the beginning, all of layers is going to be turned off. And then after that, we need to create 3 button functions. So we need a button to see the previous. And then we need to see buttons to see all of them. At last, we need to have the button to see next stage. According to this, I will create 3 button functions, which is public void. Inside of this event, we need to set all the children need to be false at the beginning, and then after that it will show one by one. So to reset them, and then every time we click this event, index number will increase. And the only object which is smaller than this index will be show up. And in the end, index should be smaller than list count, so we will add if condition to check if this index is smaller than all the list count. And else, if it is larger than list count, the index will go back to 0. And this script goes to very similar for previous button. So let's copy paste this. But here, every time when we click the button, the index will decrease. And then in the toggle display button, we need to change the boolean every time when we click this button. So, and if this display all is true, it's going to show entire models, entire levels, and else if it is not true, it will go back to last scene. And now it's going to show everything. After it's set up to everything false, and we need to bring them original stage. And save this script. Let's go back to Unity, and I will going to attach this script into the buttons. Interactable, you will see event over here. Well, it is empty, so let's attach display level, and you will see level display level on click. In here, since it is located on the left side, I will just call as a display previous. And then right side one is going to be the next. Obviously, center is going to be the toggle button. And before we play and check, I forgot to change one thing inside of the script, which is inside of the click to display previous, we have to change if conditions. So, and since it is going minus and minus, we need to check if it is smaller than 0 or not. So, when it is larger than 0, it goes 1 by 1 by 1, else, which means when it leads to 0, it will go back to all children count. So, when it leads to the 0, it's going to show the entire things again. So, save this. Okay, every time when I click the next button, it's going to go up 1 by 1 by 1. And then every time when I click the previous button, it will go back to previous stage. And then if I click the toggle button, it's going to show everything. But if I click it again, it will go back to last moment.